It's Wednesday, June 5th on Foster Live. Today we're talking to immigrant foster children.
Only on Foster TV. The conversation starts now.
Good afternoon, it's June 5th today, and it is just beautiful here, and it's my favorite time of year.
Yeah, it's almost summertime.
I know, and I love this time of year. I like being outside. I'm one of those people that's outside like most of the day.
Yeah, I love being outside.
I don't like being cooped up in my house. I like to be outside. I like to be with the kids at the park, mowing lawn, doing swimming, whatever. Yeah, going to the lake.
Yeah,
the reason that I moved here is because of Table Rock Lake, and it's beautiful and it's a lot of fun. And it's just a good time of year. I love summer, and it's so good. Also, June is Reunification Awareness Month for foster care. And I didn't know that. Our producer was telling me that earlier today. And so the number one goal in foster care always reunification. That's right. And until that goal changes, we work our buns off to get those kids reunified with their parents. But it's also Pride Month this month. And for our same-sex couples that are watching today, we are launching a huge campaign this June that basically will be going to Pride events and sharing the message that same-sex couples make awesome foster parents. And the statistics show. When you look at the facts, we know that same-sex couples do a wonderful job, and we're glad to have them as part of our community serving these kids that are in care. So, what's in the news?
A couple actually adopted 6 kids in Pennsylvania.
Really?
Yeah, Rob and Steve is their names.
So Rob and Steve, they adopted 6 kids. And I read a little bit of this article before we came on today, and it sounded like they wanted to make sure that these kids were in no way, shape, or form separated.
Right.
And they wanted to make sure that they stayed together. Now, they had 2 kids prior to.
Yes, I believe so.
So they're a family of 8. We have 10 kids. So they're right behind us. Maybe they'll get a couple more and they'll be tied with us.
But could you imagine adopting that many kids at one time?
At the same time, I know, it was pretty amazing. I was looking at this article, and one of the dads said, the judge asked, do you understand at this point forward, they are your children. They are just as much as your biological children. Obviously, we knew that, but when we looked into our kids' eyes, things got emotional. And I bet they did, because just adopting one kid, because ours have always been one at a time. We're getting ready to do 2 brothers, and we're getting ready to adopt them. But it's emotional just with one. I can't imagine looking out and there's 6 of them there that we're getting ready to take on.
All those eyes just staring up at you. Like,
like, are they really going to do it? Are they really going to follow through? So congratulations to Steve and Rob in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and I hope that those children bring you lots of joy. Today we are talking about immigrant foster youth, and that's also been in the news a lot lately. And what people don't understand is that these kids are coming over the border. I want you to say yes to Carrie. You know, Carrie has a unique story, but her family was killed in a car accident and has no place to go, no other family, no aunts, no uncles, no grandparents, and is now in state's custody in foster care. The only way that we can get out there and to support these people in need during a very difficult time in their life is with your contribution. We're not looking to get paid huge salaries and live in fancy houses and go in limousines to big parties. That's not why we do what we do. We do what we do because in our hearts, we love these children and we believe in them. And every single person that you see on Foster TV, on the set or behind the set, is doing this for the kids in care. So I'm asking you today, please say yes to Foster TV, and we promise you that we will do our very best in helping these kids in care. Till next time, thank you. Whether you support the wall or don't support the wall, one thing that is consistently in the news in America and other countries is what we're going to do at our Mexican border in America. With that current event rising each week, one thing that it does affect is kids in foster care. Thousands of kids who are separated at the border from their parents are put into the foster care system every year, which raises the question, how does this happen and what do we do about it? So does anybody know when they're doing this, where are these kids going? Are they all down in Texas and Arizona and those areas, or where are these kids actually being placed?
So there are several states that will take immigrant refugee children, but for the most part they usually end up on the East Coast near the federal prisons where their parents are being put.
Right.
It's supposed to be so that they can have visits, but most of them don't end up with visits at all.
Right, and also an article that I read is they're trying to keep these kids, I guess, in homes where families speak multiple languages and are bilingual, so that they can help them with that process and education and that as well.
Yeah, and they're trying to help preserve some cultural stuff as well, so they'll try and place with families of the same cultural identity.
Now, is it just those families and the cultural identity, or is it like everybody that can foster these children?
It's not everybody. First of all, your state has to have a program for it, for an unaccompanied immigrant refugee child program.
Right.
You have to have that program. You have to be licensed through that program, and then a lot of times they have to be bilingual of some sort.
Right. So it's not just your regular license. You can't just, all states go to your licensing worker and say, hey, I want to do a kid that's come across the border in from Mexico into the United States. It's got to be kind of your state. And I would guess that your licensing worker would be reaching out to families for these kids.
Yeah, a lot of times, even if they're found here in like our area, they're going to ship them somewhere else.
Right.
To make sure that they have that cultural identity and that they're in a home that's licensed properly, so that we can preserve a lot of that stuff, but also give them what they need, because that's the goal anyway.
Right, and you know what? No matter what you think politically, it's kind of a catch-22 because I'm thinking here. One, I love kids, and so I want the best for these kids, and I want good things, and I definitely don't want them to be caged and that kind of stuff that we've seen on TV. But on the other hand, we're already kind of strained in our foster care system just with our kids that we have in care, and now we're adding thousands more of kids in care because they're coming across our border. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, it is a huge strain. I mean, just since January, it's about 2,700 children that have been brought into care for this reason. So, I mean, we're rapidly adding numbers to this because of a number of different reasons, I'm sure.
Right. And I think that, you know, if we don't do something, I'm not sure that I'm sold on the wall idea, just personally. But also, I know if we don't do something, we're adding a lot of kids, and 3,000 kids in the last 6 months. That's quite a bit of kids that are being added.
That's a lot bigger load than what we even expected to take on in the foster system.
Exactly, and especially when most states report that they need foster families, and now we're putting the added kind of thing into this.
Yeah.
Right.
We need foster families, but they have to have these qualifications.
Right, exactly. But then also on the flip side of that is these kids who didn't choose to make that journey across and are coming into our country. Not sure that we really want to turn them back over where all of that stuff is coming too. So it's just an interesting topic, and we wanted to get the conversation started. We didn't want to be political, and I think we did that today. Maybe you feel like that's your niche. Maybe that's your niche. Your state does fostering for that type of thing, and maybe that's your niche. And get with your licensing worker, and maybe that's something that you can do, because it sounds like there's definitely a need.
Yes, there's always going to be a need.
We'll be back right after this.
Foster life. You see me every week, but what you don't know about me is that I have a million passions, but I'm specifically passionate about foster care. Foster care policy, foster care kiddos, and really helping organizations that do other things for foster care kids. But we can't do that without you. We can't do anything without you, the viewers, and the people who work with us every day to keep kids safe and happy. Here at Foster TV, we're working with organizations to provide school supplies and duffel bags for kiddos so they don't go to new homes with garbage bags, wheelchairs for kids who need it, and things that you as foster parents know that Medicaid and other services don't provide. Braces for teeth and for other things. We are trying to do everything we can to make life easier and happier for these kids. Your donation to Foster TV will allow us to be able to turn 100% of our profit from you into those organizations and to help other kiddos who need it.
Welcome back to Foster Life. Today we're talking about fun summer things that you can do. And Tristan actually at the break was talking about how he pees in the pool. So that's a thing. It's only like
It was just
One time and I never did it again.
yeah. Oh jeez. And that's why I don't like to go to community pools. But summer is definitely here, and if you're waiting for the official day, we're just right around the corner. And as we think about summer, lots of fun things that you can do with your kids outside comes to mind. You know, one of the things that we're doing this year, we have that big hill in our backyard that goes down around towards the trampoline, and that's huge. And we are going to make a huge slip and slide down that hill.
That sounds really dangerous, but super fun.
Yeah, I think it is going to be lots of fun, and I'm sure that the kids will love it. And it gets hot in Missouri and lots of humidity, so I'm sure that that'll be a lot of fun for our summer days coming up. What kinds of things do you guys like to do in the summer outside that people can do with their kids?
My family always liked playing frisbee or like any kind of like really active game.
Oh yeah, I love frisbee golf, and we actually have a frisbee golf course right by our house, and so I want to take my bigs down there one night and just all my big kids and play frisbee golf, and we like doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's fun.
It's a lot of fun, and frisbee is a lot of fun too, especially if you got a dog that'll chase it.
Yeah, and I definitely have fun with those.
Oh yeah. So what other things do we like to do in the summer?
I like to play catch with my dad and my brothers, or play a baseball game. Sometimes we'll get the whole family together and go to a ballpark and play baseball.
If you have kids with ADHD, reactive attachment disorder, oppositional defiant disorder, everything that I read over and over and over, because I research constantly, all the time, is active, very, very active. We like cornhole. Do you guys ever play that?
Oh yeah, I played that before.
Yeah, with the
That's
bean
one
bags.
with the bean bags and the whole.
Yeah.
I don't know if you call it cornhole where I'm from, but.
Yeah, and so you take the bean bags and you do that, and it's outside, and it's kind of fun, and
Yeah.
a lot of different things.
Horseshoes is kind of played the same way too.
Yeah.
And
I
ladder
like
ball.
playing horseshoes.
Yeah.
Ladder ball. What did you call it earlier? Ladder ball?
Oh, so we call it redneck golf here,
Yeah.
and it's got 3 poles, and then it's got a ball with a string and a ball,
Yeah.
and then you swing it, and you try to get it on the top one
Yeah.
or the middle one.
You try and get it.
I think it's points.
yeah, it's
like
points
the top
based
one's
on
the
each
highest, and then the lower you go, the
Yeah.
more points.
So we like to play that a lot, and our kids like that, and that's something that the babies can do too. I mean, because it's usually like tennis ball type things, and then you can throw them.
Yeah, cornhole is a good one for the kids too.
Mhm.
Maybe just put it a little bit closer for them to toss it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's something that you can do a lot. I always liked as we were kids lawn darts, but they've kind of banned them because
Yeah.
they're a little dangerous.
Yeah.
They were
So-
not getting thrown at the lawn anymore.
Oh yeah, they were getting thrown at the ex-wife, and so that's fun. One of my favorite things to do, and my kids love it. So you take one of the sprinklers that just shoots up, and you put it under the trampoline, and then they get out there and jump, and it keeps them cool while they're jumping, but it also gets them wet, and they just love that, and it makes them, you know, they really enjoy doing that as
Yeah,
well.
my favorite memory actually is jumping on the trampoline with all my brothers and all the different games we play on the trampoline.
One of the things that my kids love to do, we went to my cousin's house in Wyoming, Cheyenne, Wyoming, and all my olders slept with their cousins out on the trampoline all night long, and they had a blast, and everybody just slept out there and had a good time.
Yeah. We didn't have a trampoline, so I wouldn't know anything about that.
You wouldn't, yeah.
No.
That was like a
definitely-
go-to weekend thing to do.
Yeah.
Have friends over and sleep on the trampoline.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun. The other thing that you can do, and it's real cheap, at Walmart now, if you go to the electronics department, I think it's $70. And they got a projector that you can hook to your DVD, and you can project movies on the side of your house or on a sheet or wherever, and you can have outdoor movie night.
Oh yeah, and you can make it really fun by like going out and getting some extra boxes from like Walmart or something, like banana boxes, and having the kids decorate them like cars. Everyone gets their own little car, and
Now that would be
they
awesome.
can have their own little drive-in movie.
Yeah, that sounds good. A drive-in movie night. Sounds like a lot of work, but it would probably be a lot of fun.
Maybe the
Kids.
weekend before you have them decorate it, and then that next weekend you let them take
Yeah.
all the cars
It
out.
would
Right.
keep everybody busy for sure.
Oh yeah.
Exactly. I think that those summer campouts are always fun for the kids. I know that as we get older, sometimes our backs don't like tents, but I know we have a lot of fun going just tent camping, which is really inexpensive, and it's a great way to teach your kids some survival skills. And we talk about that a lot in Colorado, where I come from, because of the mountains. We're taught a lot about survival skills, but that's some of the best memories that I have from my summers is going with my buddies to the mountains and camping out in a tent and cooking on the campfire and doing that. And that's really what I think is important about summer, is creating those memories.
Yeah, we used to do a lot of camping when I was a kid.
Uh-huh.
And there was always one rule. The last night of camping,
Uh-huh.
everybody had to wear a white shirt, and you'd always have like barbecue and like food and stuff.
Oh,
you'd
yeah.
have napkins and you'd use like your sister or your uncle.
Oh, yeah.
So everybody else's shirt. And whoever had the dirtiest shirt like won a prize.
Oh, yeah, and then do s'mores with chocolate and stuff and
Yeah,
marshmallows.
just get real messy.
Yeah, that would be great. That would
If
be a
you're
lot
not
of
one
fun.
of those people who's like super about
Yeah.
messiness.
When we come back on Foster Life, we're going to be wrapping up.
Hey, I'm Jackson and I'm 12. Last night, my parents were arrested. I don't want to go to a foster home, and they can't find a foster home. I just want to be with my family. Why can't they understand my parents are good?
118,000 children and youth in America are waiting to be adopted.
With your $10 a month contribution, you can help Foster TV raise awareness to get more foster families and get these children adopted. Help us to get the conversation started. Welcome back to Foster Live. Today we are in the studio wrapping up. We've talked a lot of things. One, we talked about summer, and I love summer, and I love being outside, and that was a lot of fun. And hopefully you could try some of the ideas that we had today on the show, but also on not as happy of a note. We talked about these children that are coming across the borders and being separated and going into foster care. And I think it's important as a foster care community that we remember those kids as well, because the long and the short is, those kids, just like our kids in America, don't make the decision to come into care. They didn't make those decisions to come across the border either. And yeah, we need to fix the situation somehow. That's very true. But also, until the system is fixed, we gotta do what the law requires. And the law says right now that we take them into care. And in taking them into care, we just need to be aware that that happens, one. And two, we just need to remember those kids, because it's just as difficult for them as it is for American kids that come into care. And it's a struggle.
Yeah. And you may not even think that it happens very often, but 2,700 kids just in the last few months. I mean, It happens more than you think.
Right. And I think that the other part of this is, I've been to those third world countries, and I know the conditions that they live in. And man, if you're watching American television and you're seeing how Americans live all the time, I'm not sure if I wasn't in a different situation, I wouldn't be doing the same thing for my family. But what they need to understand is there's a legal way that you can come to America and be a part of this. And there's an illegal way that you can come to America and be a part of this. And we need them to quit choosing the illegal way, for whatever that's worth. We have a lot of good things coming up. This Monday, Mondays and Tuesdays, we go live at 6:20. And you can win lots of good things. I know that we'll be doing another live coming up on Monday and Tuesday. We're giving away a lot of different things. Also, we have this Tony Gonzalez signed print.
Yeah.
It's right there on my desk. It's just right over there on my desk. And I know that a lot of you have written me, and what do I got to do to get the Tony Gonzalez signed print? It is a limited edition. There was only so many of them. And they're worth some money. It was part of our Kansas City Chiefs partnership. It's what they wanted to use in addition with their partnership with us. And we are so happy that the Kansas City Royals and the Kansas City Chiefs have said yes to foster families and to foster TV. And we anticipate that we're going to have more Major League Baseball, football, basketball, and hockey teams coming on board with us. So that usually means that we're going to be giving away some tickets and some memorabilia and that kind of stuff as well. And so you can stay tuned for that. We will be back on Friday for another good show right here on Foster Life.
Foster Life is a Hedfra production, only on Foster TV.